Hey everybody, just wanted to make a final build update, well, probably final build update for the Discharger, the Slayer Discharger. At this point, my classes started today for my final school term, so I'm going to be playing considerably less going forward, and the upgrades I have to make on this character at this point are also pretty minimal, so I am not really going to have too many major changes in the build going forward, but I will still, maybe at some point still make an update if I get something major, mainly just the Helm, but I'll just talk about now what's going on with the character. At this point, the character is really pretty much kind of, besides the Helm, more or less finished. Let's start. The Void Batteries again, the Pharaoh's Fur. I have my 2+1 Power Charge rings. They're rolled pretty bad, but it's because I just need specific resists, I need intelligence, and I need some amount of life. Ideally, I would roll these with crit multi essence, but I just don't have that luxury because I'm just really tight on resists on this build. So it's quite difficult for me to roll these rings with crit multi. So that's kind of one thing that could use some improvement, but again, it would be a small improvement of, still 50 crit multi, but it's one of those just really minor improvements. This build is already at 600 crit multi, so again, it's one of those things, just really minor upgrade. Breath Stealers, I did manage to hit the corruption I needed on these. So I actually do have my curse set up now. You can see it has this hit. This was actually my first time corrupting a pair of Breath Stealers, and I miraculously hit it on the first try. It did hit Vuln, but it doesn't actually do anything because I only have one curse limit, and the way it works is it goes through the curses in alphabetical order, and E comes before V, so the curse that it applies in this case is Ellie Weakness, which is what I want. So the vulnerability with these gloves does absolutely nothing, and it doesn't matter. So these Breath Stealers are, for this build, pretty much perfect. The only way these can potentially get better is instead of the Vuln, it was Spell Crit, but that's pretty hard to ask for. I did get a Headhunter. Is a Headhunter really necessary for this build? No. It doesn't do too much besides making me tankier, making me faster, and that's kind of it. And of course the increased damage with hits against rare monsters. It just doesn't have too much practical use for this character, as it helps with mapping, but it doesn't really increase the damage or anything like that, because Headhunter really only works well for attack builds and physical based builds. For elemental builds, and especially like Discharge, it really does kind of nothing. So this Headhunter is kind of more of a gimmick, but it's still kind of nice for ultimatums. It really makes me more tanky, and it's just kind of that quality of life thing, but really not necessary. Inya's Epiphany, I ended up buying a pair with the Ellie Pen, which is the best enchant possible, so got that. I did get upgraded my Badge of the Brotherhood to one with these two corruptions, which are pretty nice. The Lightning Damage Leech and Zealotry Aura effect. Basically can't get too much better. I don't know how practical a +1 curse would be at this point. It's kind of just one of those things that's probably not too practical, and unless I do some major changes to the way the build is set up, there's no way I can really fit a +2 curse setup. And even then, so even if I could, it wouldn't really be ideal, because it would be like conductivity, flammability, or the third one, and since I'm using Discharge, it wouldn't do too much. So the Ellie Weakness is the best, and that's what I have. So getting +2, getting a second curse is just kind of, it's not really the best thing. Now, the interesting thing, the main upgrade I just still need is my Helm. I still need to get a +2 Power Charge Helm. A +2 power charge helm for this build is just insane because it adds 3 charges, because it adds the frenzy and the endurance charge as well. Unfortunately, I have seen a +2 power charge helm on the market, and it's actually by one of the buddies I've been talking to, but it doesn't have the cap that I need, and it doesn't have what I need, so I can't unfortunately buy it. This is the closest I've gotten to a +2 power charge. I've so far corrupted 2 helms, and I will show the clips here. So this is the one that I got that I'm wearing right now.
Oh my god, it didn't...
I was saying how it didn't break. And that's what it hit. So it hit the implicits, but not the right ones. And unfortunately, these are entirely useless. So that one didn't work. This is the second helm I put in. This one was pretty much an identical copy to this helm, except instead of cold res, I think it had like lightning res. Let me take a look here.
Okay, helm number 2.
Yeah, it had lightning res, so it was basically a pretty much identical copy of this one. A helmet like this probably goes for around 15 exalts, so these are pretty risky corruptions because these helms are not cheap to craft. And that one
it's gone.
Poofed. So unfortunate, but it is what it is. Again, it's pretty hard to get +2 power charge. If I hit a +2 power charge on a helm like this, it would probably be worth 150 to 200 exalts. So it would definitely be a rare helm, and it would definitely be an expensive helm. So that's what I'm trying to get. And it would bring my damage up so much that it's actually probably as good, nearly as good as this helm right here. This helm, this one guy is, I can't really see it. Let me this round. This helm right here is also just disgusting for my build. I think the guy's asking a mirror. I was talking about it with my buddy, a mirror and 40 exalts. But the thing is, a +2 power charge helm would be just slightly worse than this helm, which is insane to think about. I did the POB, and a +2 power charge helm, I'd be at like 85 million damage. This helm, I'd be at 90 million, and pretty much the only reason is that with this helm, I don't need to run my diamond flask. So instead of my diamond flask, I would pretty much be able to get like something like the Wise Oak. So pretty much switching to a helm like this instead of a +2 power charge helm, basically what it would mainly do is let me drop my diamond flask and get a Wise Oak, but then I'd have to drop, I have to get freeze immunity somewhere else. So it just goes to show how insane a +2 power charge helm is, because it pretty much is nearly identical in terms of power to a mirrored crazy helm like this. And this helm is just disgusting. Anyways, yeah, so that's why I'm trying to get a +2 power charge helm, because it's pretty much identical to a mirror tier helmet. And it's theoretically much less difficult to craft. The big RMG component is obviously the corruption. So yeah. Otherwise, yeah, the build is level 98. I don't think I'm going to level it too much further. There's some minor upgrades I can still make. I still need to upgrade this cluster. I need to get the third notable. I think it costs like 5 exalts, so I may just pick that up at some point. The jewels are pretty much good to go, more or less. Most of them have double multi with life, so again, unless I invest exponentially crazy amounts of currency in this build, which I'm not, it's pretty much as nearly as good as it's going to get. Once I get a +2 power charge helmet, I think my average damage based on what I saw on POB is going to be like 85 million. So it's more than enough to one-shot pretty much anything in the game. So that's where I'm at with the build. We'll just be working overtime to chip away and throw these kind of helms into the corruption chambers. But again, it's not cheap. and I need other helms to sell, which they're not right now, so we'll see. Anyways, that's going to be it, and this is going to be more or less the final update unless I hit something big. So that's going to be all I have for this video. Thank you guys for keeping up with the updates to this build. Not exactly quitting the league, but I'm going to be just playing a lot less at this point. So thank you everyone for watching these updates, kind of staying tuned with the build. If you have any questions, just feel free. Probably the best way to reach me is just leave any questions down in the comments below. I've had some people already send some PMs at me, and it's funny, I joined one public group and this random dude was like, wait, aren't you the #1 discharger? And I'm like, that's funny, kinda I am. So just kind of interesting that even people that haven't watched my videos kind of recognize this character, so it's pretty cool. But yeah, that is going to be all for today. Enough chit chatter for me. Thank you guys for watching, and maybe I will make one last update video in the future, but for now, that is all.